Robots Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that, but you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go! Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast. The podcast that looks at your favorite childhood memories and goes, you know what? Let's make a feature-length film. That's Chad Ekowitz.
That's Simone LaRue. I love that. That's really, really true. It's such whoever did it first was an absolute pioneer and a genius. You know, to go, hey, let's take this beloved kids show and make it an hour and a half. Kids would go ballistic for that. Adults will hate us, but kids will love it.
What if kids could watch their favorite morning cartoons at the cinema?
Incredible.
And cinemas were like, fantastic, we love it.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially with little kids, you can't go to the cinema without getting snacks. I think adults, absolutely. Like, I don't know about you, but as an adult now, seeing the sort of ridiculous prices that you get at the cinemas, like, I do not get snacks. I sneaky my own snacks in.
I get snacks, but I go to the cinema like so seldom. So like we kind of make a thing of it.
Right. Okay.
And we'll usually share, like you get those like, the combo things that's like the popcorn and the chocolate and the slush or whatever. So we'll usually share that. But if I get my own, oh God, I've become so boring. The last time I went, I don't know. Maybe I was feeling chubby or I didn't feel like having all the sugar or whatever. But instead of a slush with my combo meal, I just asked for soda water.
Oh,
like
Simone.
A psychopath.
What's wrong with you? Like, do you just hate joy? Like, what is
I was like, I just want water right now.
Oh,
you know what it was?
me.
I just had a big slice of cake beforehand.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was like, slush is not gonna fly.
It's gonna be way too much sugar. Like you're gonna crash halfway through the movie.
I was like, actually, all I want to do is hydrate right now.
No, that's fair. I must say, I do love, this sort of relates to the topic that we're talking about now is we're on our Discord when people start talking about all the various movie snacks from around the world and just how ridiculously different it is depending on the region you're in. What I miss about South Africa, and I often sort of complain about this here in the UK, is the fact that like in South Africa, you've got those little flavor stands where you can just bomb your own sort of seasoning. So you've got like cream cheese and chive, vinegar, butter salt, like all these beautiful flavors. Here in England, the land of plenty, apparently, you've got sweet or salty, and that is it.
Okay, I'm sorry, that is pathetic. What is the point of colonizing all over the world? And then
you're gonna do that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look, it's a travesty
on your behalf. You should buy, you can buy like popcorn seasoning salt at the shops. I don't know about it in the UK though. I have no idea. But you can buy like
banned it.
Yeah, probably. It's probably too good. But yeah, over here at least, you can buy popcorn seasoning salt, like salt and vinegar flavor or whatever. You should buy that. Just sneak it in with you.
That's a good idea. Do you know what I've just realized why it is? It's because this country is predominantly white and white people can't season food. It's too spicy. And that's the issue. That's why it's
that's actually a very specifically British thing. Like every other country I've been to, they'll like use some like some sort of seasoning. And like the UK, I will never forget. Like my one colleague from the UK at my old job was telling me about. He was like, yeah, I just made an egg and chips for my kid. And I was like, wait, so like literally just a fried egg and some chips. And he's like, I mean, I put some white bread in there too.
Oh,
dead serious.
Oh, dang.
Dead serious.
Oh, dang. We're not like, we're an embarrassing people. Like it's a horrible thing. Oh, goodness me. So yes, with my movie snacks, what I do, and I often get a look of horror until people try it. Here in the UK, I think it's pretty standard everywhere else in the world, but here in the UK, I get a look of absolute derision. I put like my sweets, like a chocolate sweet, in my salty popcorn, and you get that sweet salty.
That's really good. What sweets do you usually go for? Are you like a Smarties man or?
I'm usually a Maltesers boy. Sometimes I'll go for
luxury.
chocolate buttons if I'm feeling like slumming it a little bit. But yeah, Maltesers
I love a
and
good
popcorn.
Malteser. Mm.
Yeah. And when the popcorn's warm, when they've just like put a new fresh batch in, and then
So
that
everything's a
popcorn
little
melts it.
melty.
Perfection. Yeah.
Mwah.
The people of the UK need to learn. They need to learn how to do cinema snacks properly.
I agree. I'm so sad for you.
I'm very sad. But back to topic. This week
Yes.
we are doing 2 movies from our childhood. 2 of those delicious Saturday morning cartoons that got turned into feature films, as Simone said. So what films are we doing this week, Simone?
So we're doing, basically it's actually kind of a triple threat. So we're doing the Hey Arnold movie, and then we're doing Rugrats Go Wild, which is a crossover between the Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys.
I loved the Wild Thornberrys. It was my second favorite show. What was your ultimate Saturday morning cartoon?
Oh, it depends on like the age I was at. I think when I was a kid, like it was Pokemon all the time.
Right. Okay, that's
Loved
awesome.
Pokemon. Power Rangers, obviously. I know that's not a cartoon, but like.
But it's Saturday kids, yeah.
Yeah. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a little older. And then like when I was much older, I liked Phineas and Ferb.
Right. Yeah.
Love Phineas. I still love Phineas and Ferb. It's actually
how could you
so
not?
good.
It's so good. It's brilliant.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, it was Courage the Cowardly Dog all the way. Was my absolute favorite. I think that's where my love of horror comes from, because that shit.
Oh, and
was
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I love
sorry,
Scooby-Doo.
I'm just having a little moment.
Little nostalgia trip.
Oh, and I loved Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was my other
Sailor Moon
favorite
was
one.
badass.
I fucking love Sailor Moon. To this
It
day,
was so good.
love Sailor Moon.
Loved also, I think Powerpuff Girls gets overlooked quite substantially, but that show was banging. And then the Cramp Twins. Yeah, Ed and Eddie. The Cramp Twins, I think, as well, was a little bit of a weirder one, but I really enjoyed that. And then, do you know what a friend reminded me of the other day?
What?
Cat Dog.
What a time.
What a weird fucking,
like,
to be fair,
like Cat Dog and Cow and Chicken were just like not child appropriate, actually. And
then you got Rin and Stimpy, and you're just like, what the fuck did people do? Like, why were these things?
This is why millennials are so fucked up, guys.
It's so true. I mean, even in like more mainstream with like Powerpuff Girls, you introduce him and you're just like, right, okay, so we've got this bisexual devil creature who is pure evil in an adorable show about 3 prepubescent superheroes.
Genetically modified gals.
Yeah. And look, the world is what it is now, and we live in it, and it's these people's fault. I blame the TV and the cartoons.
I blame the television too.
Well, what are you drinking this week, Simone? Let's talk turkey.
I'm having a white wine in my stemless wine glass.
They're so elegant.
It's mainly because they fit in my dishwasher, so I don't have to hand wash them.
It's practical, it's elegant, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a win-win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. And it must be a celebratory wine as well, because the alcohol ban is lifted.
It's a legal wine.
Oh, there you go. The bootlegging days are over. Hopefully this will be the last time that you've had to bootleg, and now you're clean. You're straight. You're back on the straight and narrow. You know.
Yeah. See.
Good effort.
Was it?
Look, we're here to build each other up. I've returned to a very South African drink, and I'm having a brandy and coke today.
Ooh.
You know,
what kind of brandy? Are we talking a Clippies?
Oh no, you can't get Clippies over here. It's really tragic. I'm thinking of moving again because this is horrendous.
Truly, no. I mean, you're not selling the experience, Chad.
No. If it wasn't for the NHS, this country would be a fucking pit. You know? But yes, I think it's just like it had a ship on the bottle. I wasn't looking too closely, but it's a very nice brandy. And
I love a brandy and coke.
Oh, it's just a warming drink, isn't it? It just feels just.
Nothing brings out my inner Pretoria girl harder than brandy and coke. It just makes me want to kick my shoes off and watch the rugby.
Oh, do some push-ups outside of the local bar. Dreams. That is a deep dive for all of you
Yeah.
new listeners. You're gonna have to go back about like 50 episodes to go and find
Yeah.
out what that references to. You know. Well, I guess I get to go first, right? Because brandy is usually higher than white wine.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's find all about Hey Arnold. So this movie gets straight into the action from the jump, and so will I. Arnold, voiced by Spencer Klein, wakes up one morning and goes down to meet up with some friends. When he meets them, he notices a big gathering around a TV. On the TV is the town's mayor standing with this guy called Shek, voiced by Paul Sorvino. Shek is the CEO of Future Tech Industries, and he has just entered a deal with the mayor to completely revamp Arnold's neighborhood. Some of the people think this is a good idea, but then they all realize that what this really means, and that is that they are going to have to tear down the neighborhood, meaning that everyone will lose their jobs and have to move out of town. Arnold is devastated by this news, as this is the only home he has ever known, and he doesn't know what will happen to his grandparents. He decides, with the help of his best friend Gerald, voiced by Jamil Walker Smith, to find a way to save the neighborhood. When Helga, voiced by Francesca Marie Smith, who secretly has a crush on Arnold, hears about what's going to happen, she is torn because on the one hand, she doesn't want to lose the love of her life, but on the other, her father, the beeper salesman, is going to make a lots of money from this revamp, and so in turn, she will be rich. The first thing that Arnold and Gerald try is to organize a block party. Unfortunately, this goes horribly wrong because Shek and his crew block the permit authorizing the block party from getting to the local authority, making the block party an illegal gathering. Whilst the news stations initially come to the block party to air the horrible thing that Future Tech Industries is about to do, because of the disruption, nothing gets shown to the public. Next, Arnold and Gerald go to the source. They visit Future Tech Industries to speak directly to Shek and see if they can reason with him. Shek, as you can expect, is actually a mega douche and does not care about the poor people of their neighborhood and just wants to make more money. A true Bezos, if you will.
Ooh, political.
When Arnold gets home, he is super bummed. He speaks to his grandfather, who then tells him the story of the Great Tomato War that happened in his neighborhood in the 1700s. Apparently, the British were...
Oh, sorry.
taxing-
Like the grandfather's old neighborhood in the 1700s. And I was like, how old?
That's what really
is he?
confused me, right? Is because like the grandfather is like this really confused me in terms of like the timing of when is Hey Arnold is set. Is it like early 50s? Is it 1850s? How old is the granddad?
Timeless, truly.
Yeah, I think they just play around with time. I think time is not a concept because
No.
you know, I didn't mention this in the synopsis, which I will get back to in a second, but like they have a time clock going with this and they've got like 46 hours and they are able to fit like 3 days worth of activities into that 48 hours. So I think time doesn't exist in the world of Hey Arnold.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. Apparently the British were taxing the crap out of tomatoes in this town, so the poor peasants revolted and took them down, instituting a new way of order which led to the founding of American independence. Arnold gets an idea. If this thing really happened, it would make the neighborhood a national heritage site, which could never be torn down. He and Gerald must now go and find the document which states that the neighborhood is a national heritage site. They go down to the town hall, but they have no luck there. They then visit this really creepy morgue guy who tells them that the document was sold at auction a couple years back to an unknown buyer. They seem to have hit a dead end until Arnold gets a call from a stranger called Deep Voice. It is, of course, Helga, who has now decided to help Arnold. She tells him that Shek has the document, and she also tells him how to get it. Shenanigans ensue, and Arnold is able to locate the document. He has it in his hands, but then Shek steals it and burns it, destroying any proof that it ever existed, except for the videotape evidence of Shek doing so. See, Shek has video cameras everywhere in his building, and so the burning of the document was definitely caught on tape. Arnold and Gerald go back a couple hours later and steal the tape. That's when Arnold also meets Deep Voice and learns it's Helga. She confesses her love to him, but he is really taken aback by it and doesn't know what to say. They run back to the neighborhood and get there just in time to show the world the video before the neighborhood is destroyed. The town is declared a national heritage site again, and the mayor revokes the demolition order, and Arnold and the gang save the day. The end.
The end. Chad, your cliffhanger, please.
It has to be this one, and it's the scene when Helga confesses her love to Arnold, because it's the most like darling little scene. And I mean, it's such a lovely running joke from the show because you know, Helga is so mean to Arnold, but she like creates a shrine for him, and like she's so like her voice changes and she's like really poetic. And then when she like finally tells him, it's obviously this big culmination of everything that everyone loves from the show in this one thing. And then Arnold just reacts like a typical boy in that situation. He's just like, this is a lot. I'm gonna have to process this, and I'll get back to you. And yeah, it's just a lovely sort of weird resolution.
Oh, I was gonna disagree entirely.
Oh
I was like,
really?
oh, this is not okay. Like, Arnold is clearly so uncomfortable with everything that's happening. And like, I guess it's played for laughs, but then she like force kisses him,
Oh yeah.
which isn't cool. And it's
No.
also just like, you can't expect to like be mean to someone all the time
Mhm.
forever and then like turn around and be like, oh, but by the way, it's because I loved you. And for them to be like, yeah, sick. So I don't know. That actually, I felt very uncomfortable during that whole scene because Arnold's clearly like,
Yeah,
mm.
okay. Look, from a point of view of actually the people involved in the scene, it's
Yeah.
really ick. But from like a person who watches the show, seeing that
Yeah.
resolution, that's the nice side. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, the predatory behavior is not okay. And I mean, this
Helga's
goes
not
back.
okay.
No, and this goes back to something that we need to stop teaching kids. And I mean, this is a very good lesson for people to learn now, is to stop saying to girls that boys are mean to them if they actually like them. That really reinforces bad stereotypes. It teaches
Yeah.
boys that they can be mean, and it also teaches girls that bad behavior actually reflects love. And all of these things are very, very bad. And we teach like 6-year-olds this.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think there's also something to be said about like, hey, if the person isn't interested in you, you've got to move on. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
persistence is not cute at this point. It's
No.
they're not keen, just carry on with your day. Don't be building shrines to them or making hilarious monologues about how obsessed you are with them.
Look, a monologue doesn't hurt anyone as long as it's,
monologue
you know,
doesn't
not
hurt,
addressed to the public.
Except your heart.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Simone, you make a very good point in the fact that yeah, don't just it's okay, guys. People are allowed to have their own feelings, and if they don't match up with yours, that's like it sucks, and you'll be heartbroken, but you'll move on. There is always
fine.
someone out there for you. Always. This is now a love podcast, so please write in with any of your romantic problems, and we will address them in the worst
God.
possible way. The worst possible way. We are
There's
not
a
equipped
pot
for
for
this.
every lid.
Oh, that's really nice. I like that.
Hmm.
And it's like goes in with a cooking theme. That's very cute. Yeah, yeah. So what did you think about this movie overall? Did you ever watch Hey Arnold?
Yeah, I did. I'd forgotten a lot about Hey Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of liked, like, I love that it's this big, like, diverse neighborhood of lots and
Mhm.
lots of different people. I love his sassy grandparents. Like, I
Oh,
love
they're the
his, like,
best.
super active, super funny grandpa and his, like, radical activist grandma who
Yeah.
is so funny. I just love the whole neighborhood. Like everyone's just there getting along, being ridiculous, going on adventures. It's so cute. It's such like a weirdly idyllic little slice of life. Like a bunch
Yeah.
of like lower middle class kids all hanging out together and like learning from each other. And it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there with like the diversity. I think Hey
Yeah.
Arnold is probably one of the most diverse shows for kids out there. You know, it has a whole, you know, versatile group of people, and it's not from like a rich point of view. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
clear that this neighborhood is a absolute disaster. And it's very serious. I remember the episodes being a lot of the time incredibly serious. I remember that one kid, you know, the bully who likes to eat a lot. He's quite rotund.
Yeah.
I remember him like there's an episode where he like fails a couple grades because he just can't read, and his parents like really mean to him about it, and he's just like dealing with that. And I mean, even in the movie, Helga gets like called Olga by her parents, and they just
Yeah.
don't care about her. And it's like it's not played for laughs at all, which is great. It just
Yeah.
shows that, you know, life sometimes sucks.
Yeah.
And you know, like it would have been in a weird way like really true to the Hey Arnold vibe if they hadn't have succeeded.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a
agree.
huge bummer of a movie, but if they hadn't have
No,
succeeded,
they couldn't have done. It's a kids movie.
But it would have been very on brand. And then I also just love the jazz of it. This is the most jazzy jazz show of all the kids shows. There's so
Yeah,
much
no, it's just a
jazz.
cool show. Like everybody in it's just super cool.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and you can't help but love it. You know, and I really struggled to find any legitimate downfalls from this movie. How about you?
It's a perfectly acceptable kids movie.
Mhm.
And to be honest, off of the bad guy, I really got more of a Musk vibe than a Bezos vibe, but maybe
Oh,
that's
right.
just me.
I can see it. I can see it. Yeah. Look, they're
Either
all
way, just a thoroughly unlikable rich man.
yeah. I mean, they're all awful, aren't they?
Mm.
Bezos, Musk, Branson. They're all shits. They're
I
all just
don't wish them the
shits.
best. I gotta be
No.
honest.
No. Yeah. Did you hear there was like a petition going around when Bezos went off into space to not allow him back into Earth?
Imagine though.
That would be so good. I would love that. Just ooh, yikes! You
Oh.
are technically an illegal immigrant, so can't let
I'm
you
sorry,
in.
you don't actually get any breaks on this shift, so
Oh yes, beautiful. You cowboy hat wearing douche
God.
asshole. Okay, no,
Let's
we're not gonna do
Let's
this.
not.
Right.
We can't.
Right. Well, I mean, look, there's hardly anything we can really
Yeah.
say about this movie. It was fucking awesome. You had
Yeah.
like great scenes of demolition. You know, there was many a crime committed in this film, which I always
so
do
many
love.
crimes. They
It was
ring up
incredible.
explosives under the whole neighborhood.
Which feels really counterintuitive
Yeah.
for what they're trying to do.
Helga's dad casually has mob connections.
Yeah, that whole scene, like there was that great scene that I was just like where the evil skeezy guy's like when Helga's dad finds out that the contract is really shifty, and he goes to the creepy dude who made him sign it, and the dude's like, oh, it's a free country, I can make the contract how I want, and Helga's dad is just like, well, I guess if it's a free country I can punch you in the face, and I'm like, that is the American way.
Beautiful. It's the
Just
circle of life.
red, white, and blue. Thank God, America. So, guys, we're changing our format a little bit.
Yes.
And instead of asking for a scene that could have saved it, we're now really going back to our roots of optimism. And instead of asking that, we are going to be asking, what is the golden nugget of this film? So what is that one little precious cherry, that little golden nugget at the bottom of the residue of the reservoir, for a turn of a phrase, that really made this film stand out? So Simone, golden nugget for this one?
For me, it was definitely Arnold's relationship with his grandparents. They're just like, they're so cool. And like they don't for a second think that he can't make a difference or like can't help out. They're just like, oh, here are some things you could do. Good luck.
Yeah, they're very, very on board, and like they are crazy in themselves. And I mean, I think
They're so
everyone
cool.
should.
His grandmother.
Oh, the scenes where she escapes from prison are just hilarious.
She's so
Every single
funny.
one.
She's so funny. I want to be her when I grow up.
I think all people should aspire to be Hey Arnold's grandparents or have grandparents like them.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. For me,
What about you?
For me, it's definitely Stinky, the tall dude with like the hair.
Yes.
He is just the most delightful southerner, and it just warms my heart when he like sees Shaq and he's just like, that man gives me the heebies. And it's just, oh, you're such a beautiful
He's so
soul.
funny.
And like low key, does he not remind you of Dan?
Like a little bit.
Yeah.
I can see it. See it. Just like his gentle soul.
Yeah, gentle giant, just the super loveliest human being. Like no one can have a word against him. Yeah. So he's my golden nugget. He got some screen time, and I wish he had a bit more, but he's brilliant, and I love him. Yeah. So would you recommend this film to people?
Yeah, if you want some like heavy cartoon nostalgia, and also like both of the movies that we covered today are kids movies, so they're not very long at all.
No, great.
Which was very nice for me because I watched them both this morning.
It's such a nice change from what we usually have to deal with.
Yeah, as opposed to losing like half my day to catching up on the movies.
Oh man.
But like, yeah, it's actually it was a really nice walk down memory lane for me, remembering watching this series and how like cool it was. And yeah, I would recommend checking it out if it feels like your vibe.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think anyone our age who grew up on Hey Arnold, or if a lot of people our age are now becoming parents themselves, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us are going to force feed our kids our comics and cartoons from when we were kids. I'm definitely going to show my kids Foster's Home one day, without a question.
Oh, I forgot about Foster's Home. What are you
It's the
doing
most-
to me, Chad?
I'm taking you down nostalgia lane. We're going for a nice walk. We put on you good walking shoes. I just wish they had done a Foster's movie. I don't think they ever did. And I really wish they had. But yeah, I'm
that
gonna
would've
feed
been
our kids
cute.
that. So I completely agree with you. I would recommend this to anyone who's our age, anyone younger who is just like looking for a really badass cartoon. Who like, and it does have serious vibes, so like it's not just gonna be bright colors. The colors are very muted in this. In fact, you're gonna get no dopamine spikes from this movie but
As
yeah,
opposed to the next movie, which is a
oh
lot.
man, all the colors. But yes, highly recommend. Good, awesome.
Cool.
So let's move
Shall
away
I
from the
tell
inner
you?
city
Yeah,
and
into
let's
the
move to the jungle.
Sorry, we were trying to finish each other's sentences and like then it just didn't get finished.
100 episodes deep, and usually like we have such good chemistry, and people often speak about how we're really good at riffing off each other, but Jesus Christ, that was so painful for both of us, just being like
That's the magic of editing, is we can make it sound like we have great chemistry.
Oh god.
Oh god. Okay.
Okay, tell me about the jungle.
Okay. So, Rugrats Go Wild. This movie actually starts following the Rugrats clan, where all of the grown-ups are planning a amazing trip on Lipschitz Cruise, which is like this epic spa day thing on a cruise ship, and they're all super excited. And when they get there, they realize that actually Phil Pickles, is that his name?
I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah.
It says Phil Proctor for some reason, and I just
Did they get a
sorry. There's like
divorce?
so many voice actors involved in this. Drew Pickles, I think, is the one.
Right. Okay.
Voiced by Michael Bell. He has actually arranged for them not to do a cruise. He's like, no, I rented a boat for just us, the family, so we can all bond. And everybody is furious. It does not get better when they hit a storm and are in a life raft, and then they wash up on the shore of a deserted island. Immediately, everybody starts fighting. People split up, and no one's watching the babies. And the babies are like, cool. They figure out that actually famed wildlife researcher and documentarian Nigel Thornberry, voiced, today I learned, by Tim Curry.
I know, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. He's such a baby.
With my whole heart.
Oh,
I love that
he's the best. He's the best.
Voiced by Tim Curry. They hear that he and his family are on the island somewhere. So they're like, no, we're gonna find him. We're gonna restore their dad's reputation, and everybody's gonna turn out great. Shenanigans ensue. The babies go on a long adventure. There's a clouded leopard involved. Eliza Thornberry, voiced by Lacey Chabert, she talks to their dog. And like that's a thing. And then Angelica, voiced by Cheryl Chase, meets Deborah, who's the Thornberry sister, voiced by Danielle Harris. And they kind of become friends, and then like basically it all culminates, everybody finds each other, but they've like sunk the combi that the Thornberries need to like get anywhere, and luckily Drew Pickles, finally he can help because he's an inventor, so he figures out a way for them to lift everything out. They also rescue the babies from a submarine where they're all stuck underwater with Nigel Thornberry. That raises out everybody bonds, I think, and has a new
Yeah.
appreciation for Drew Pickles. And Tommy Pickles is really happy because he got to meet his hero, Nigel Thornberry. And they saw a giant squid, and everybody leaves as friends, I think, and we're all happy.
Yeah, it's delightful. The end. That's lovely.
The end. Yeah.
The end.
There's a clouded leopard involved, but that doesn't really go anywhere.
It really does not. No, it's a false lead. But before we
Yeah.
get into that, what is your cliffhanger?
Oh, it has to be this one. And it's when they're in the boat and Angelica's crying because she's just thrown her doll overboard.
Oh
Or
yeah.
her doll's got lost overboard, and her mom's like, no, like we've all lost something. Like, you lost your doll, I've lost my phone, your dad lost his
Yeah.
favorite shades, and Drew's lost everyone's respect. What
So
a
much
savage.
shade. What is so much shade thrown straight off the bat. It's
And
beautiful.
I do not blame them. I do
No.
not blame them at all. He lied. He was a
Mm-hmm.
lying liar. And he's like, oh, I just wanted everybody to get along. And it's like, okay, but you also rented a boat that's clearly not big enough for everyone.
No.
And that you
it's
didn't
definitely-
know
yeah.
how to drive? Skipper?
Yeah, skipper. Voyage?
Voyage? I
No,
don't
you're
spend a lot of time on boats. I don't
No. You're absolutely right. You're so right. And it, like the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and clearly he's, for such a genius, he is an absolute dum-dum to do that. Like
He knew. He's such a manipulative shit, Drew Pickles. I've got a real problem with him.
Jesus, I can tell.
Because if he thought that people would appreciate this as a bonding experience, why not tell them? And you know why? Because no one else
Because no
wanted
one
to do
would.
his shitty idea. And he was like, no, this is all gonna work out great. Surprise. And he was like, oh, everyone's mad at me for messing up. And it's like, yeah, Drew. Yeah. You fucked up.
And he's just like, but why? We're having such a good time. We're gonna bond. It's gonna be okay.
I would murder him. Murder him.
To be fair, you know for a fact that if we were in that situation, we would get ourselves into that situation. Like, our group of friends is ripe for the bringing in those type of shenanigans.
Absolutely not. Like, this is the thing, though, is we'd be at the port and they'd be like, oh, I rented this boat. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, have fun, because that's not the vacation I fucking signed up for.
Do you really think you'd be that with your hatred of
Yes.
conflict? Do you really think you would do that?
If it's between being trapped on a tiny shitty boat or a cruise ship that I have presumably put money towards.
Right? That's the thing. That is the thing.
Like,
you've gotta
what did you
be-
do with my money, Drew?
Yeah, because it clearly, like, it didn't go towards this boat. Like, that boat did not rent for very much. It
Mm-mm.
was this tiny little
Mm-mm.
dinghy.
Ooh.
Look, I feel like with this movie as well, it's very much like Blue Crush that we did the other week, in the fact that, well, Blue Crush 2, in the fact that a lot of this should have been, and then they died. So
Yeah.
it's like they got hit by a massive wave and then they died, but they didn't. And then they were in the boat and then they fucking
Yeah.
punched a hole in its keel and then they died, but then they didn't. Then they got washed up on the shore and they should have died. And yeah, like a
Yeah.
lot of this is just like, and you should have died, but somehow you didn't.
And they're all terrible parents.
It's the worst parents
Like,
in the
so
world.
their babies just, so they're like, hey, Drew, you know how you've just proven yourself to be unreliable and irresponsible? You watch the kids.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then Drew's like, hey, Angelica, could you, a 3-year-old, watch the kids? And Angelica's like, absolutely. And he's like, sick, I'm gonna go do things. The babies just wander into the jungle, and then by the time
Mhm.
the babies get back, like once everyone's reunited, it looks like all the other grown-ups minus Drew have like built shacks, and they've got like
Yeah.
a store of coconuts, and they've built like a little village, and it's like, at what point were you
Yeah.
gonna come back for your children?
That is
Like,
that is a huge question, right?
oh,
Like,
dude,
it makes no sense, because okay, so you're on a tropical island. It's presumably very hot. They
Yes.
are babies. Babies, like normal human beings, need sunscreen. Babies, these soft little goo balls that you create, need extra attention. They cannot be left out in the sun like that without food or water. But you're just like, yeah, we'll let the 3-year-old and the highly unreliable guy watch them. And he hasn't come back and said like, yo, can we have some water for the babies
Yeah.
or some shade for the babies? He's just like, like, also, where did he fuck off to? Because clearly, like, he
Never
went to do
explained.
something.
Never explained.
Yeah, like, what? Yeah, it's very, very baffling. These
Yeah.
parents should be locked up. Like, when they get back to America, they should all be locked up.
Yeah, they're
Without
horrible
question.
parents. Eliza's plot line is basically useless. She doesn't really do much of anything, which is a shame because she's, you know, the protagonist of the Wild Thornberries.
Exactly. Yeah, no, she
There are
just
some
kind of
very
speaks
awkward
to...
musical numbers throughout this movie.
I was perplexed when they started with the musical numbers. I love that they shut that down in Hey Arnold. That is something that I couldn't really measure, but like the guys try to start singing in Hey Arnold, and then they just like, nope, we're not doing that, which is great because in every kids movie they do musical numbers, which were just equally as baffling.
I wish they would not.
It was also a really weird concept in the fact that I feel like there was a bigger resolution for the Thornberrys in this Rugrats movie than there were for the Rugrats parents, because the Rugrats parents don't really learn anything. They don't learn to not trust Stu ever again. Whereas the Wild Thornberrys are like, oh yeah, family is really important and we should actually make more time for each other and we should be there for each other. But it's not their movie. Like, why do they have a really sick revolution? Like, what?
This movie's a mess. Like it was cool like to be reminded of these two cartoons that I watched a lot as a kid. But I was like, this is baffling.
No, I completely agree. What I think it also speaks to how old we are is I didn't recognize some of the babies. So like the Asian baby, I wasn't I wasn't around for her.
She joined Rugrats later. She actually joined in Rugrats in Paris, which is where Chucky's dad meets his now wife.
Right.
And
Okay.
she's like the wife's child from another marriage.
Yeah. Okay. You see, I was out of the Rugrats game by that time, and also the African American baby. I vaguely remember her, but not very much. So, yeah, it just speaks to how
you didn't watch later seasons.
No, I was too busy being mature and watching Courage the Cowardly Dog. You know, and fucking Ren and Stimpy, you know, scarring myself forever. But I thought that was really nice. I think it's really cool that, you know, Susie was like standing up for the babies and just like being on the baby side. I feel like there's like a very weird dynamic between her and the baby pickle. No, baby pickle. Tommy. Like they have like a weird romantic vibe. I kind of felt like I was picking up on, and I was like, but they're babies. This feels weird.
There is also a whole series called Rugrats All Grown Up.
I saw that. I haven't seen any episodes, but I saw that they made it. Did you? Have you ever watched
like
it?
it's kind of cool to see where they're at and everything. Like it's cute.
Yeah, I like that about the Rugrats. It's that it has that progression where not very many other kids cartoons do progress. They kind of just stay that same age forever. So that was lovely to see. Yeah. Like I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about with this movie? Anything baffling?
I mean, there were so many plot lines that got picked up and dropped immediately. Like, there's no point getting into it. But like, it was.
Which, yeah, I think it makes it hard to find something good about this movie. I mean, I really enjoyed the crossover element of it. It was really nice to see that. Fun. I loved seeing the oldest Thornberry daughters, Deborah's sort of transition into like this person who really wants to spend time with their family now. That was really cute. Sweet. Yeah.
It was cool seeing her interact with Angelica. I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah, that was a cool crossover there. Yeah, but apart from that, I mean, yikes, really. Bit of a missed opportunity. So I guess we gotta trudge very deep into the sand to find this golden nugget.
Yeah.
So
I would say my
what is it?
golden nugget is like I think like it's cool seeing all the characters interact. Like that's the point of a crossover, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool to see Nigel Thornberry just be super cute with the babies, like trying to sing to them and stuff to keep them calm in the submarine. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah.
And then I also thought Deborah and Angelica getting along really well was really funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
I
What about you?
I that is we've clearly been digging in the same area because my golden nugget is that endy bit where sort of like Nigel realizes that they might actually not survive this situation, like they might actually die here, and he starts singing to the babies and like doing Old MacDonald, and it's just like such a cute scene, and the babies are like gathering
with all the
around and he's
different
doing little
animals.
shapes. Yeah, it's really, really fucking cute. I mean, to be fair, for our listeners, if you're ever stuck in that situation where you're low on oxygen,
Singing's
singing,
not a good idea.
definitely not a good idea. You consume more oxygen when you sing. Being quiet, much better idea.
Sleeping is ideal.
Exactly. So that's our PSA for the day, which is also a new segment which we're apparently doing.
Survival skills.
So yeah, I think that was just like a really cute scene. I think it
Mm.
speaks to sort of Nigel Thornberry's ability to always be this really constructive person in the series. Like he's supposed to be a buffoon and everything, but honestly, he is such a brave, strong, wise
Yeah.
character. You can't help but love him. Love
Tim
Nigel.
Curry.
Tim Curry.
I love him.
Yeah. So would you recommend it?
No, I think if you really like want nostalgia for these two things, like I would say like one of the other Rugrats movies is probably a better option. And
Mhm.
also I think there is also a Wild Thornberrys movie.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember Who Let the Dogs Out being part of that movie
Yeah, that is
somewhere,
true.
somehow. And I remember that being really fun. So like just the crossover is not worth it. Just get that nostalgia separately.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree. The Wild Thornberrys movie is really dark as well because it's about elephant poaching. So
yes,
just
I
be
forgot.
ready for
Oh
that.
God.
Yeah, it's fucking rough. And I believe there's a cheetah who loses its baby too, which is just fucking horrendous. Like it's a
Okay,
really
this is
dark
all coming
movie.
back to me.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I'm never gonna watch that. I can't. I truly I cannot handle poaching stories. I can't
Yeah.
handle animal like any animals being hurt. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you so much with that. Yeah. But yeah, I also would not recommend this. I agree with Simone completely in the fact that just watch them two separately. Watch the TV shows. The Rugrats TV
Yeah.
show is great. The Wild
It's so cute.
Thornberrys TV show is amazing. Just skip this movie. Just don't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go, Simone. We have reached the end of Nostalgia Lane.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
us.
It's been a good walk. I've had fun. I've stretched. I've breathed in the fresh air, and now we can return to our dusty
You know
world.
what cartoon I just remembered also that I used to love because I was a big nerdy nerd was Magic School Bus.
I never watched Magic School Bus, to be honest with you. That was never in my repertoire.
We have to do a Magic School Bus episode at some point.
Okay.
Because I think it would be cool to get like your fresh perspective.
I think that would be very interesting. We could do it as like a live. That could be fun. People could come and join us.
Oh, I'll pick my favorite Magic School Bus episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Guys, if you want to write in with your sort of best picks for Magic School Bus as well, we'll do like a 2-episode live and yeah, you can come and join us and we can talk about nostalgia of kids shows. So please do write into us with that, which you will find out where to do so at the end of the episode. But in the meantime, Simone, what is your gratitude for this week?
Oh, my gratitude for this week is I got some alone time. I'm still so lucky that I have a very understanding boyfriend who occasionally I'm like, hey, I just need you to get out of the house for a bit. Like I just need the whole house to myself, please.
Really
and
sweet.
he's very cool about it. He like just went to a friend's place. And I just had like a little night by myself. I had a bubble bath.
Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah,
how magical.
candles. I made a meal with all the food Rudy hates. Watched a scary movie and like just chilled. It was great. It was exactly what I needed.
Oh, that sounds
Covered
so
my
lovely.
face in like serum.
So
my skin is so soft right now.
You happy? You're just stroking yourself all the time? Just Lovely. Oh, that sounds so wonderful. It's very cool that your partner like feels that way, and I think it is really important that even you know, because you are living with your partner, like having that alone time is few and far between. So
Totally.
being able to communicate that is really, really important.
Yeah, and obviously I would also like get the fuck out if he asked me to.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's your second PSA for the day, guys. Communication, incredibly important in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you need alone time, just ask.
Just ask.
Oh, I've got a cat scratching at the door. Do you
Go-
hear that?
I do. That is some adamant
He is
scratching.
furious.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet boy. What's happening? Come here. Oh my goodness. Can I help you? Just gotta be held like a baby for a little bit. Such a silly boy.
Look at him.
Oh.
He's such a baby.
He is such a baby.
Oh, what a
Okay,
sweet
now
boy.
we're just scratching up the chair.
It's a perfect chair for scratching, to be fair.
In all fairness, yeah. No, let's okay.
Yeah, that feels like a very expensive piece of equipment for him to be walking on.
He's very little. Okay, what is your gratitude?
my gratitude for this week is my little cat, young Tiggy, because she's suddenly become really, really affectionate to me, and she just like follows me around the house, and she'll just like let me do whatever the hell she wants. Like I pretend that she's a gun sometimes, and I'll be like, hey, mom, what do you call a cat that's a gun? And I like hold her up by her feet and go, she's a catling gun. And then I go grrr, and just like do like a shotgun motion, and she just allows it. Yeah. And today I was like, hey mom, did you know cats can fly? And I just chucked her in the air and just like she landed on the bed. I'm not abusing my animals.
Okay.
There was a soft bed, I made sure of it,
Yeah.
and then she just went and lay on my bed for a while, and yeah, she just like follows me around everywhere, and she just gets all cuddly, and I just love this cat so much. She's such a babe.
Oh, that's so
and it just makes me
sweet.
so
So
happy.
she's a bit your cat.
She's definitely my cat, which is going to be real problematic when I move out, like real problematic.
I'll have to do a custody battle.
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get very, very ugly.
Can I tell you one of the funniest jokes that Rudy has ever said?
Yeah, go for it.
We were talking about if we ever broke up, who would get the cats. He goes, call me Ultramel because I'm getting custody.
Wow, that is stunning.
I was furious. I will never be that funny.
That is so good. That is unbelievably beautiful. Like he kind of wins the cats because of that joke, right?
For those who don't know, Ultramel is a brand of custard in South Africa.
It's a very South African brand of custard. I don't think you can get it anywhere else. Like 90% of our listeners are just like, I don't get that.
That's not funny. But it's
So
genuinely one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard.
that was beautiful. I appreciate that. Oh my God, how beautiful. I think that's my gratitude for the day, actually. That was so good. So Simone, what are we going to do next week?
Okay, so similar to revisiting our childhoods, what we're going to do is we're going to look at movies that revisited our childhoods for us.
Right.
We're looking at remakes.
Ah, yes. Okay,
So,
I see where you're going with this.
To that end, we will be doing the new Witches movie.
Yes, with Anne Hathaway.
Yes, and we will be doing Cruella.
Yes, which we both have quite a lot of feelings about.
Yes,
having
I haven't
never
watched
seen
it yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, gonna be a very, very spicy episode, I think. It should be very interesting. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate you. And for our live stream, please do write into us. Tell us what your favorite episodes of the what is it called? Magic Bus?
Magic School Bus.
Magic School Bus. Tell us what, that's how little I know about this show.
Like such an old man. What's
what
that
is
show you watch? The Magic Bus?
The Magic Bus. So guys, if you want to write into us with your Magic Bus episode recommendations, what kids shows do you remember from your childhood that you loved, even in your adulthood? What did you watch on Saturday mornings that just filled you with the most joy? Tell us your favorites. And where can they do that, Simone?
They can talk to us on Facebook or Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast, on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. They can email us at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com.
There you have it. And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Nice.